save them money or make them money.
If you pay an engineer at $100,000 a year and Cursor makes him 20% more efficient, that's $20,000 that I'm saving per year. I don't know what I pay per Cursor per user, but it's definitely not 20 grand a year.
You gave me a search to put in, and so I'm putting it in right now on ChatGPT. It's best CRM for small business. The top result is HubSpot CRM.
HubSpot, roughly 13% of their signups come from LLM platforms, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, etc.
Can you describe what it is that you're doing to get customers using this AI automation process that we're going to go through?
Think about your ideal customers. Imagine scraping Yellow Pages and their website, gathering their email information and phone numbers, shooting them off an email with something that's value add.
Neil Patel is the founder of NP Digital, the worldwide digital marketing agency that works with Intuit, Cartier, Canon, and so many startups that you know and love. Let's get to it.
Let's get it. The next new thing.
Neil, you give a lot of talks about AI and marketing in general. And you gave a talk at HubSpot recently where you asked the audience a question that had a shocking response. What was the question?
When asked how many of them are using AI or ChatGPT, almost everyone raised their hands. When asked how many of you guys are seeing an increase in revenue, literally no one raised their hand.
Wait, Neil, when you say using these tools, you're saying they're using AI for marketing purposes, for business growth purposes, and they're still not seeing any growth in sales. That's what you mean?
Correct.
Oh, okay. So they're actively trying to get revenue from it and not, and it's because they're getting into shiny object syndrome. What are they doing that's trying, but really not getting any revenue?
Sure. So a lot of people are using it for content creation, which it just produces mediocre content. A lot of them use it for adjusting creatives for their advertising. But if you don't have strategy behind it, AI can create 1,000 variations of a creative. But again, if there's no strategy behind it, it doesn't mean that the numbers are going to work for you from an ROI perspective. Just because AI helped you create, 1,000 creatives, you have to give it direction and you have to tell it what you're looking for. Or another example of this is most organizations, SMB or large, have data in different places. You have data on Facebook, you have data in Google Analytics, you have data in Google Data Studios, you have data on your own servers, right?
Yeah.
You have data in your own CRM or your CMS. And the list just goes on and on, but the data is fragmented. So AI can help you gather the data, put it in one place and analyze it. But if you're not sure what to analyze, you don't tell it what you're looking for, you don't know what changes to make based on it, then what happens? Nothing. And what was if the data is not even accurate, which is a bigger issue? Because they're pulling them from all different places and different sources. Facebook will count a conversion differently than you may see on your end. So when you start sending it multiple data points, like, here's my Facebook conversions. Here's the Facebook conversions Google Analytics is telling me. What number do they go with?
What do you tell them to do? How do you solve that problem for them?
The first thing is they need to understand what actually moves the needle from a business from a revenue standpoint. So you take all the marketing things that you guys are doing. Is it pay-per-click advertising? Is it SEO? Is it GEO, like ranking on ChatGPT? Is it social media marketing? Is it your ads? Is it your emails? The list goes on and on. Once you can figure out what's actually driving revenue, then you can figure out, all right, what out of that arsenal that we're using to drive revenue isn't doing well, and what do we think we can improve upon the most? And you have to look at both what isn't doing well and what you think you can improve upon the most. Because if something isn't doing well, like TikTok, and I'm Boeing, I'm just using a hypothetical here, and I'm selling airplanes, well, no matter how good at TikTok marketing I get, I don't think TikTok's going to help me sell more $100 to $200 million airplanes, right? It's the wrong platform to sell something to very few people. LinkedIn may be better. Maybe trade shows will be better.
Give me an example of someone who you'd worked with that was able to make a change and actually get real numbers out of AI.
Sure. So we had med spas, right? Like Botox, facial, skin injections, laser treatments, whatever they are. I should know them, but I don't know all the med spa related terms.
I don't. I'm a naturally good looking guy. I can't I can't relate, but I get it. But you're saying they have a series of these places.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Throughout the United States.
Okay.
They were getting a lot more traffic from SEO, and they came to us and they're like, our SEO traffic's down. We're not generating as much revenue. It used to be a key driver for revenue for the organization.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. So then we started pulling all their Search Console data, had AI analyze all the keywords. What are the pages that used to rank for those keywords, or still kind of ranking, but you're not getting as much traffic? What are the pages that went down? And when we look at the terms, what were the terms that are doing well, but the ones that aren't doing well as more anymore? And what are those specific pages and where are their rankings currently? So we looked for the pages that were on page 1, doesn't matter where, but they aren't doing as well and aren't generating as many clicks, but they're still on page 1 for those keywords. It was a long list of them. So we took AI, we took those main queries, and we had AI summarize the answer based on the content on the page for that exact query. So I'm going to make up the answer here because I don't know much about med spas.
Okay.
All right. So here's a hypothetical. How do I reduce the wrinkles on my face? Oh, there's a blue light laser that you can use. It's a 30-minute treatment, or there's a blue light laser with very little downtime that can help reduce the wrinkles on your face.
Okay.
Okay, so you're getting very specific. Yes, the article goes in depth on this blue light. And again, just for a disclaimer here, I'm making this up. And we had AI summarize it in key points. So think of like FAQs or key points like CNBC has at the top of their articles when we're reading their financial articles. And we ended up breaking them down in either FAQ sections for some pages, depending on how technical it was, or if it was a general question, some of them were key points at the top of the article. Within 24 to 48 hours, quite a few of those pages started popping up in the AI overviews on Google. Cause more traffic, cause more revenue. The revenue wasn't astronomical like 20, 30%. It was in the single digit percentiles from some of the changes we made, but it all adds up. That's an example of using AI to help you get better search results for the new way search engines work that a lot of businesses haven't adapted. And AI can do that really easy because it's summarizing already the content on your page and breaking it down in a really digestible sentence. Because if you look at AI overviews, the last thing that they want to do is answer the question with a 3-paragraph answer. It defeats the purpose of an AI overview, just giving you the answer as quick as possible.
And so what you're saying is understand the queries that people are asking and then create those exact answers on your site and even have AI create those exact answers from your existing content. Did I nail that?
You nailed it. But the key was we did this for pages that were already doing well, but they aren't doing well right now. So they used to do well in the past, but right now they're struggling. So we adapted them to the new way people are searching and the new way search engines are trying to display content.
Interesting. The reason I'm saying interesting is because I thought you were saying that AI writing is mediocre. And I thought you were going to say have human beings sit and create those summaries. No, AI is good for that.
AI is great for that. But on the flip side, if I wanted to write a whole new article on growing a business in an AI world, you can have AI help you with tone of voice. You can't really have it help you with originality. You can't have it include stuff from your own experience, or as Google calls it, EEAT, expertise or experience, expertise, authority, and trust, right? It's hard to showcase that with the AI written article. And it's just like these interviews that you do. Someone, I'm guessing this interview, because you're asking me AI related questions, you're trying to figure out for your audience, hey, how can you grow in this new AI world or use these AI tools to help you grow? If you decided to have ChatGPT, or any one of those other AI tools help you create a podcast And there's a lot of tools out there, and a lot of people are just creating quote unquote AI podcasts. I'm not talking about the subject of AI, but they're having AI create the whole episode. You're not really going to uncover, from what I can tell, and I've watched quite a few of these AI podcasts, you're not going to really uncover anything that's revolutionary. Maybe some people haven't been keeping up with it for the past few years, so they're learning something revolutionary. But what AI is doing is it's scouring the web from their trillions of data points, and they're regurgitating information that they're finding out to you in a form of audio if you had it create an audio podcast. But people want to hear what's new and what's working that their competition's not doing. That kind of stuff is hard to get from AI-generated content.
Okay, you gave me a search to put in, and so I'm putting it in right now on ChatGPT. It's best CRM for small business. The top result is HubSpot CRM. Did you lead HubSpot CRM to be that top result, or did you just know this?
I didn't do anything, but when I was speaking at Inbound, the HubSpot event, I was with Kip. And Kip is the CMO of HubSpot. He ended up talking about how roughly 13% of their signups come from these LLM platforms, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, etc. Okay? And I know what HubSpot's been doing because they've talked about it publicly. We've been doing similar stuff for our customers. We've been doing similar stuff for ourselves. And when there's articles around the web that break you down in a structured way, think of like a table format, breaking down the data between you versus a competitor. And that article, I believe it's TechRadar, one of those websites.
You're jumping ahead. Wait, the other thing that you sent me was, I said, how did this happen? And what you said was, they create these articles, or it's because of these articles that will compare all CRMs for small businesses that are written exactly like that. ChatGPT read that and used that to come up with the answer. And what you're saying is there's a TechRadar article that you showed me that went into this, and it is actually cited by ChatGPT. And the TechRadar article is basically a review of all these different tools.
That's correct. So that wouldn't be an article that they created. But there are articles, and I believe they said they created around 300. Don't quote me on this, but I got that somewhere from the internet. It was around 300. And let's say if you want to compare best CRMs for construction companies, and you write your own article for that on your own blog, and you go super in depth, that's a great way for you to drive more signups, right? And you would do it in a table format: pricing, features specifically for construction that you have, that the competition doesn't have, summarizing it all, giving examples and case studies and reviews, and going super in depth like that. That helps you rank better on these LLMs and get cited more than the competition.
Okay, so my question for you is going to be, this post that ChatGPT is citing is on TechRadar. Would HubSpot go to other sites, not just their own blog, and have them write these types of reviews and comparisons so that ChatGPT has a third-party resource to draw on?
So I can't speak for them, but in general, if you're doing marketing as a company, you would want to do outreach and give, if someone has an article on CRM, you would want them to include you and break down why you're better and give them the pros and cons and show them the ratings and reviews. That's one way to get cited more. You would want to create your own articles. You can guest post and disclose that it is a guest post as well, right? But those are some ways that you can end up encouraging or having more sites talk about you, which then helps you. Keep in mind, these platforms also scour the social web. How good are they at really dissecting video? It's yet to be seen per LLM platform. But I would also have comparison videos breaking down you versus the competition, because like those SRT files or transcriptions,
Yes.
A lot of it's done through AI and it's pretty accurate. You bet they can decipher a video and know exactly what it's about and show you that time frame. Depending on the platform you're on, I've seen them when I ask a question, just pull up a video, but it starts at the time where it's talking about that versus showing me the whole thing, right? These are all examples of ways you can get your business more cited.
How many AI software companies have you worked with, roughly?
A lot. Because
dozens.
When you say AI, a lot of the software companies we work with are publicly traded. And you know this better than anyone else. When you look at the stock symbols and the earnings calls, what do they all talk about? Oh, look at this new AI feature. So even if they're 10, 20 years old, they all have AI. And so I would say the majority of the software companies we work with, which is way more than a dozen or even 2 dozen, we probably work with more than a dozen or 2 dozen just publicly traded software companies, right? They all have AI features.
Okay. And you've also worked with smaller players in AI, and you've advised a lot of companies. The thing I'm getting at is what's working, because I see so many people vibe code software and then struggle once it's cool, once it's exciting to get people to use it. So
Yeah.
give me some direction of what actually ends up getting usage and paid usage is more important.
Yeah. So one of the big things, and I believe it's called Cluely. Was that the SF company that raised money
That's
from
the tool you
2%
told
horse?
me to install. It basically sits on top of every meeting that I have, and it summarizes it for me, and it gives me a transcript and lets me ask questions and look up things. Like if you had mentioned a company here, Cluely would have made it easy for me to find out what that company was about without having to go to ChatGPT.
Yes. So what they've been doing, and this is a great way, is in today's world, influencers really drive a lot of revenue. And when you look at Cluely, what they did is they recruited tons of influencers. They had them go and post short clips, and some of them go viral, some of them don't. It's not about follower count. If Andrew has more followers than me, it doesn't mean his video is going to get more views than mine. Social media has been democratized. Just like, you see that person back in the day, she said, I'm looking for a man in finance, 6'5", blue eyes, and there was something else with the song. She didn't have tons of followers. She got tons of followers after. Or that person whose car or truck broke down was drinking cranberry juice and longboarded to work. You must have saw
Yes,
that.
for sure.
And it went viral. So the way social media works is if you have 100 followers or 0 followers and you put something and they show it to a few people and they all engage, they keep showing it to more if your engagement ratio is extremely high because they know that other people on the platform will like it.
Okay. So what you're saying is the thing that works for these businesses is to get influencers to create videos. In fact, we shouldn't even call them influencers. Just create anyone with a social media account and some creativity to create videos about them. And then that
Within
will...
your field, though, not anyone.
Oh,
See,
really?
Cluely is applicable to everyone, so it's a little bit easier for them to do this. I'm in B2B. I would not have everyone do that. I would have
Got it.
everyone who has more of a B2B account, whether it's 1,000 followers or 100,000, I would try to convince them to create a video.
Is there a platform you use to do that?
No, we manually recruit and just reach
You manually
out.
recruit. Okay. But here's the thing that I'm getting at. When we were talking in private, you said, Andrew, the two things that really will get AI to not just be played with, but for companies to pay for it and use it and continue to use it is save them money or make them money. And you said of the two, I would pick which one? Actually, first, why those two?
Okay, so let's go back actually a little bit. So if you have an AI software, no matter if you help people save money or make money, you still need to do things like influencer marketing, SEO, paid advertising, email marketing, the list goes on and on. If you're not leveraging the normal marketing channels, it's hard to reach people. Now, when you go back to your software solution or whatever product you created with AI that you're now selling to everyone, if you can't help people save money, why should they pay you? If you can't help them make money, why should they pay you? Because what we see is if you can't help with those two things, you can still get signups, but your churn tends to be higher. So if you look at the softwares, we use a really popular one. I don't know why I'm blanking on this name. Our engineers use it to help us code. It's the most popular one out there.
Cursor?
Cursor, there you go. I think they had like a $5 billion+ valuation the last I checked. And everyone who's coding on our end, it doesn't matter if you're coding on WordPress and building themes and pages, everyone in our corporation uses Cursor. The people who refuse to use Cursor and didn't adapt are no longer there, just being really blunt, right? Because they're not as efficient as the ones who are using it. But Cursor works really well because it saves us money. The same engineer can get way more done per hour, and then you don't need as many engineers. Plain and simple, all right? If you pay an engineer, I don't know what an engineer costs us, but let's just use basic math of $100,000 a year, and Cursor makes them 20% more efficient. That's $20,000 in income that I'm saving per year. I don't know what I pay per Cursor per user, but it's definitely not 20 grand a year. All right. So I'm paying less than what I'm saving, which makes it easily worth it for me. I don't ever think about renewals or what it costs. It's just automatic, done. That's an easy way to keep selling people. And if you look at the marketing, it's not that great. Well, it's made Cursor really amazing and go viral is it just saves people money. So everyone who has engineering teams just uses it because who doesn't want to save money? It's really that simple. The second one is making money. If you create something that helps people make more money, let's say we have a software solution called UberSys. We're working on eventually making marketing more automated. We haven't cracked the nut yet, just being very transparent. If hypothetically our solution said, oh, you're now using our tool, it's hypothetically, let's fast forward and assume this is reality. If it started ranking people better on Google and driving more conversions by 5%, their rankings went up, which means their traffic went up another 20%. You start seeing all the compounding, 20% more traffic, all your conversions went up by 5%. Your conversions on your paid ads maybe go up another 4 or 5%. People will be like, oh, cool. In total, this helped us generate $1 million more, hypothetical example, and it only costs us $3,000 a year. The word will spread like a wildfire and you don't have to do any marketing. After you get your few ideal customers on board, they'll share it with everyone just because it is producing amazing results.
This is, you said Uber Suggest is the tool that's not making money now?
No, it's not. It's making money. It's a marketing tool. We have some AI features like we can track your rankings on ChatGPT. But what I said is we're trying to go down the route where we try to automate marketing for SMBs. Okay? Right now, the tool does not automate marketing for SMBs, but that's our goal. It's a tough goal, but that's what we're trying to get to. A lot of other industries with AI are pretty black and white. As you know, with marketing, there's a lot of creativity and gray areas. And so it's hard to automate everything because it's very subjective.
Yeah, I hear you, and I can see the challenge with that. But are you saying this seems a little obvious then, isn't it? To either make companies money or save them money? Where are people missing the point on that?
Okay, you have a community of people who have companies and they've released it. Tell me how many of them use that pitch within their homepage or within their demos or product pages and show case studies of that. Show me which ones do it, because I bet you the majority, 90+% don't.
Okay, I think when you and I were doing the pre-interview for this, I showed you a consumer product, which would basically help someone meal prep. That doesn't apply. Let's look at one of my listeners, Francisco.
But yes, the meal prep one does.
How?
The meal prep, it can break down how to do all the recipes. You save time. B, if you look at, you can use stats and data talking about how much money people waste on food that they don't eat that they buy from a grocery store, because there's a lot of wastage. Food goes bad after a while. If people use a meal prep product and it shows not only how they're getting healthier, they're saving time, but they're saving money because they're buying the right amounts and eating everything, and how that's saving them money on a monthly basis. That's a huge win for people. Grocery bills are super expensive. I went to the grocery store the other day just for the sake of it because we needed some stuff. Wife had me go on the way back from dropping the kids off to school. And I bought the stuff. I was like, $300. I was like, what the heck? And I was at Whole Foods and I have a Prime membership code and I gave it to him. I got a little bit of discount, but it's still $300 something. I was like, this is how expensive groceries are? And the person at the till was just like, yeah, they're expensive. I'm like, I don't understand how people could afford this.
I'm on the site right now. It's safi.ai, and on their homepage it says, save 4 hours every week, let AI plan your meals. And you're saying, forget the hours?
No, hours is one. You need to talk about hours, and you need to also talk about food costs.
Okay.
Right? If you don't have those two things, it's a harder pitch. Everyone talks about hours. It's still useful, but you need to break down hours, like someone saying, hey, I'm Andrew Warner. Look, I'm using this meal prep. Now I'm healthier. I have amazing hair. Look at my skin. It's glowing. I got a 6-pack. And also, check out my food bill. We were spending, look at my credit card bill. We were spending on average $1,200 a month at Ralph's. Now we're spending $832. I'm more fit. I'm more full. We're actually getting more food. We have less wastage.
Okay, I have another listener who is who's creating a dashboard with AI. It's pretty cool. What it'll do is it will connect into your QuickBooks, into your Stripe, into
It's centralizing all the data in one place for all the important
right.
metrics for you.
And you just ask a chat and then get the results, and then you also have a dashboard. How could he lean into this?
Yeah, sure. So the biggest problem with that tool is it's a dashboard, shows you all the
Right.
data in one place, which is cool, but most businesses don't know what to do with it. So the solution of asking a chat questions is helpful because it hopes to uncover things that they can change or improve within their business. But most people don't know what to ask or what to do. So
Right.
what you need to start doing is, based on the data that they're plugging in, come up with predefined prompts or questions people should ask to help them cover insights, and then tell them what to do with that data. So yes, you can still have it where they can ask whatever they want, but you should have some pre-configured prompts that you know they should ask based on the data sources they passed in, and even suggesting what they should do with that data based on the results that it's showing.
Okay, and I'm looking now at his homepage. It's zerro.biz, and it says all your business data in one place. And to me, that is scary because you're right. I don't want more data, and I don't necessarily need it in one place. It's nice to have. What is more important for me is if he on the site said all your data in one place, so you can find cost savings, so you can see immediately where you can earn more. That something along those lines is what you're saying.
A little bit different. We gather all your data in one place to figure out where the weaknesses are in your, or the opportunities are in your business, and uncover them for you and tell you what to do with them.
Okay.
So some of those could be cost savings, and then you would give examples. So-and-so had all of this. We uncovered $6,732 a month in cost savings. So-and-so had this, and we uncovered how they're doing X, Y, and Z inefficiently. Our platform recommended how to change it, and how they can do it, or who they can hire to even do it if they didn't have it. They implemented it themselves. They saw a revenue growth of $32,162 per month. You know, I'm giving hypotheticals here, but those are the examples people need so they understand how powerful it is. Telling people all your data in one place, cool. No one really will log in or do anything with it. That's the real reality.
All right, I should say that's Francisco Saravia. And I want more people. So if you're listening to me and you're building something in AI, let me know what it is so that I can bring it up in future interviews and use it to guide conversations. Neil, one more thing, and then I want to talk about the demo that we're going to do. I'm also seeing a lot of AI agencies. Neil, the weird thing for me about AI agencies is that they're not doing what you do, which is to say, we are the marketing agency. Instead, they say, we are the AI agency. We will go into your business, we'll study your whole business, and we'll look for opportunities to improve using AI. And I don't know what to make of this. Because on the one hand, I see people like Noah Fleming, a past interviewee who spent time with me helping me understand this business. He's excited about it. He's getting customers who are paying. He's getting to try different tools. And I think actually Alex Lieberman, who I interviewed recently, same situation. Will go in an AI or business, and it's doing really well for him. On the other hand, to me as a customer, I can't ever imagine hiring someone to just look at the whole business for AI. Can we just pick a spot and focus? Why do you think these agencies are not picking a spot? And do you think it makes sense to build an agency like this?
It makes sense because there's a lot of money to be made. I wouldn't necessarily pick a spot, and maybe we're saying the same thing, but I would verticalize. So if I was a company, I'd be like, we help your home services business, adapt with AI. I'm meeting up with an architect next week, one of the most well-known architects globally, and I know him for a few years now, and he's like, hey, can I pick your brain? My mother-in-law was watching TV and she accidentally clicked on something about AI, and I heard your voice, so I watched it. And he's just like, I want to figure out how to get our architect company to be more, adapt with the future. And the point I'm getting at here is there's a lot of organizations that just need help, and you can generate revenue from helping any type of business leverage AI and cut costs, because a lot of people have just tons of employees and they're not technologically advanced. And what I mean by that is, look how many corporations are still not on the cloud. It's actually a big number, right? We meet up with so many large corporations that are worth billions of dollars that still have divisions that aren't on the cloud, and they need to eventually move them on the cloud. And we would all assume everyone's on the cloud, but not fully. And what we're seeing is there's good revenue opportunity, but the McKinseys of the world, the Accentures are cleaning up and making a lot of this revenue. If you want to do well as a smaller business, we think it is a very tough market to get into unless you have a lot of connections on the C level, and you're better off verticalizing and going after specific
Okay.
categories like the medical industry, like plastic surgeons or dentists, or going after home services. Go after businesses that that are you can templatize things and implement it, and then just have them do better.
Okay. And essentially sell the FOMO of AI, which people are all excited about, but just for this one vertical.
Yeah, because then you can create a lot of case studies, and then you can do outbound and get a lot more of them to join, which funny enough, I know Saulo is going to end up doing a demo. You can then
Yes.
end up using that process to go get more of your ideal customer profiles, showcase the case studies, and just, it's like fishing with dynamite.
You do this internally. Saulo from your team is about to show us how he does it, how you all do it at your company. Can you describe what it is that you're doing to get customers using this AI automation process that we're going to go through?
Think about your ideal customers. Let's say it's home services, because we were talking about that. Imagine scraping Yellow Pages and their website, because sometimes the data is off, getting all the home services companies, gathering their email information and phone numbers, shooting them off an email with something that's value add. Let's say if we're pitching marketing, we can give them a whole content calendar, maybe even create some of the content with AI. It's not going to be the best or perfect, but it gets someone interested. And then saying, look at what we've done for other home services companies within your space. Love to talk to you. Let's get on the phone and schedule something.
And you're basically scraping the Yellow Pages for, let's say, plumbers, if that's who you're targeting. And then you start sending this out. What Salo's got, though, is what I think is an automated voicemail message from Neil Patel, too, as part of this automation.
I think 11 Labs is the voice one, but I could be wrong.
I'm pretty sure that's the one that you're using. But the
Yeah.
point is, you've simplified it here. We're going to go in more detail, but the whole idea is, and this is what's working for you right now for getting customers, it's scrape the Yellow Pages for the contact information. Can I say this, by the way? I'm looking at your face. I know there's certain things you asked me not to reveal. Okay. Get the contact information of the people you're going after. Create an email that looks customized and actually has a broader understanding of how you've helped other businesses like them. And then you have this whole automation that includes voice, text, email, whatever it is that's involved. We're going to look at the whole thing. How effective is it for your business?
It's effective, but it doesn't drive the majority of revenue, but every little bit adds up. I don't want to tell
Okay.
people that they can just do one thing and it's going to change their business overnight. We generate a lot of our revenue from large publicly traded enterprises through RFPs. You're not going to get those from sending these kind of emails. But the point I'm getting at is people are looking for a silver bullet in business and in marketing. That's the wrong way to think about it. Every little bit adds up, and then it starts compounding, and that's what really grows a business. It's just doing and grinding a lot of things out, and over time it adds up. But I will tell you this, if you're going to use this strategy, make sure you talk to counsel. We have in-house counsel. There's different laws on what you can do in different countries. And the US is a little bit different because it's a state by state, and everyone has their own rules. So you just got to make sure with your lawyers on what countries or states you can send messages to, which ones you can't, and just follow all those so that way you don't get sued.
Okay. All right. And we're just going to understand how this works. People will be able to copy this if they want, but the idea is don't copy it exactly. Understand how it works, implement it in your business. And that's what you all did. We'll talk about where you got this, what changes you made. Let's bring Saulo on, and I know you've told me, look, I'm not in the weeds on this. And so I'll let you go because he's going to do this. Thanks, Neil. Thanks for doing this.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks.
Take care, Neil.
All
Hi,
right.
Andrew.
Hi,
Hi,
I'm
everybody.
excited.
We have different acquisition channels. So we work with ads, we work with inbound, a lot of organic traffic, social media, and etc. In outbound, for a very long time, it was a time-consuming effort with low results. And the reason why is because like you cannot put a single person researching and trying to do such a hard work in spending a lot of time on a single account and trying to get the attention of the prospect at scale. Like this is too expensive, right? But then with the AI and the automations and all the APIs that are available for us, we can combine that all together and put in front of the prospect something such unique that it will they will give us their attention immediately.
And you're going to give us this template.
I'll give the blueprint, at least how to get the blueprint, because this specifically we got from this person called John Catliff.
Let's take a look at your screen. This is
All right.
make.com that you're using for this.
Yeah, this is make.com.
Okay, what are we looking at? Walk me through step by step through what I'm seeing.
Absolutely. So we are inside make.com. This is one of the scenarios. And here, like every dot here is a kind of a component of this automation. They go one by one. They are sending information from each other and they're building something as they go. Like the purpose of this automation, if I can tell, like I will break down in three parts. This part here is where we are scraping the web, trying to get prospects informations. And then the second part is here is because we now have the prospect information. Let's say we're looking for plumbers, all right, in LA. So we go to Yellow Pages, we try to fetch as many information we can from this company, and then we give this information to Perplexity AI for the AI to understand each of those companies. They all
Okay.
have some sort of singularity, right? So Perplexity is capable to come up with a very good description and understanding what this business is about. And then
Okay.
we send that to content makers, or we call it the makers. And here we are using ChatGPT to create something unique for this company. And basically, what this automation do is a content calendar for social
Okay.
media. All right.
Got it. So you're saying, let's suppose I'm going to use the people who spray for bugs because we have so many of them here in Austin, and I've noticed that every one of them seems to have their own approach. You might use Perplexity to understand one of them, let's say Aztec, and you see Aztec is the organic pesticide company. And so your message to them will say, we see that you're an organic pesticide company. You probably want to use social media. We created a calendar for you of what you should be posting because we know that you're organic. And that's that customization that a human being couldn't do, but would make sense for them.
Exactly. And not just that, if you go and look, if you are curious enough to click on what we will be sending to you, you will see like each piece of content are mentioning their names, are mentioning their services, is highly customized.
I see.
So they're impressed. And the response rate from the old inbound process to this changed significantly. I think we can say almost 10x the response rate.
Okay, so you're using Perplexity to understand them. You then pass it on to ChatGPT and you say, hey, ChatGPT, this is the person I'm trying to target. I'd like you to create a, what's it called? I'd like you to create a content calendar based on these specifications. Then
Yeah.
what's next? What's the green circle to the right of that? Yeah, what's that?
Exactly. So those are aggregators, and because we are doing it at scale, so we are basically we have a composition of maybe 10 business or maybe 100 business, depending on how much bandwidth you have on your team. And but the good part is the last part here. We're using Gmail to reach out to people one by one, which is amazing. We're not blasting a generic message and trying to come to get people's attention with a generic content. We are creating something unique for them, and we're messaging them one by one. And the last piece here is something very intriguing, which we're not just sending a text email. Attached to the email, we include the audio file. And the audio file is highly personalized. You can write down the scripts that you need on your own. And you use, here we're using TTS model from ChatGPT, but you can use 11 Labs and any other voice model to create something with your own voice.
Got it. Could you click on that? And so you're saying, look, I'm attaching to them a message, an audio message that says, hi, this is Neil Patel from NP Digital. I notice your business isn't very active on social media, so we'd love to put together a free content calendar for you with posts and images. Just let me know what you think. And so that is the voice that goes out, and you also have the attached calendar, and this voice goes out in what, like a Google Drive link for them?
Yeah, Google Drive, or you can create like a small MP3 file and send together.
Okay.
You can choose whatever is the best.
Okay.
What we found was because we're sending one by one, the size of the message doesn't matter too much. But if you're blasting emails, you want to make it as lean as possible, right? So, but in this case, doesn't really matter.
Okay. And I like that it's Neil customizing it to them. What are these JSON purplish circles that keep going up?
So, JSON is a language where you can modify and you can establish the right way for the AI to process the information. So let's say on the first node here, I'm getting 10 lists of business from Yellow Pages,
Okay.
right? So you can do that, but the results of that are not every time they are not 100% structured, all right? So you use JSONs to put them together in a good way for the AI to understand it better.
Got it. Okay. And so at every step, what I'm seeing is you're doing a thing, and then you're using these JSON circles to organize it properly for the
Exactly.
next step to be able to digest it. In this, this is not the scraper in here, right? It is the
This
scraper.
is the
Which one's
scraper.
scraping?
This
That's
is
the
the
scraper that
scraper.
we're looking at right now.
Yeah, well, to scrape information, we are using Appify, and but we are using several other scrapers. So there is even a Chrome extension that you can use to scrape things. So scrapers or today are very popular and they're all around. So let's say you want to scrape Google Maps. There is this little tool here. Let me see if I have it installed. Yeah, the ultimate web scraper. Like this
Uh-huh.
tool here, like you go to Google Maps and you select, let's say, a segment, lawyers in New York, and you want to target them, like they have their listings, right, on local places, and Google Maps has shown it all. So you set up this really quickly just by clicking on the map, and the tool starts scraping all the results for you. So basically, in the end of 5 minutes, you have hundreds of contacts that are potential people that you can reach out. And this is not illegal because you can do the same process one by one by hand. You know, you're just gaining time by doing that.
Okay. All right. I could see how this works. I understand this whole thing. What are we giving people who are listening to this?
So we'll point people to this link where they can download the blueprint. But basically, I want to give them a sense of just simple steps on how they can customize that. And by the way, you will need a lot of APIs to make this work. And by the way, here's just an integration with Appify. It's not anything complex. You go there and you get the API key, you connect with Make. But basically, you can skip this process of scraping if you have a list. All right, so let's say there is a tool called Invent.ai, and this is a tool that we use to identify M&A targets when we are buying companies and etc. You know, so in this to provide you such a great level of details of prospects and etc., we can use a list coming from this tool to instead of using just Yellow Pages, this is another source, right? But because Yellow Pages is so easy to understand, I think this example is perfect.
I
Basically,
agree.
what we're doing here is we are deciding a location that we want to target and industry. In this case, it's plumbers.
Right.
It's not our best ideal customer profile, but you know, like this is just an example. So if you set up this for you, for your business, like immediately you can have a list of a lot of potential customers that you can target.
Okay. All right. And that tool that you mentioned is Invent.ai, Inven.ai for anyone who wants to get it. All right. This is fantastic. We'll have this here in the show notes, and we'll also find other ways for people to get this. Thanks so much for doing this. I love that you're willing to share and be this open.
Absolutely. And well, if you want to go in a little bit more details in other steps, like basically you have all the script information, you have then here Perplexity, understanding, summarizing it for you. Here is ChatGPT creating the content calendar, and here
Uh-huh.
is again ChatGPT using DALL model to generate the image. And all the other steps is just like then you create a content calendar in Google Sheets, and then you send the email. And cool modifications you can do is integrate that with your CRM, which is another sophistication level that probably you should do. So in our case, we are integrating with HubSpot on Marketing Hub, but also with Salesforce. Some of the steps we changed the model. Here we're using Gemini. Sometimes instead of just asking Perplexity here, we are combining other models that can even watch videos and maybe putting more details on the deliverable that we are getting to people. In some units, like some divisions like Brazil, instead of using Gmail, we are using WhatsApp. And I'm just putting out some ideas on
I
how
see.
your audience can customize this for their own use cases.
How many customers would you say you get from something like this, from one of these automations?
Um, I would say that helps fill the reps calendar in a way that we need to stop the automation because we don't have the bandwidth. So
Meaning more customers than your sales reps can handle.
a lot, and outbound because of it is becoming one of the most prominent sources of acquisition right now. It is not the best yet, but it's going much better than it was.
All right. Thanks for doing this. Thanks,
Of course.
everyone. Keep telling me what you're working on. Keep telling me who I should be talking with. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care.